of 2024. This on just $770,000 of revenue. Joining me now, David K. Johnston, distinguished visiting lecturer at the Syracuse College of Law. He's also the author of The Big Cheat, How Donald Trump Fleeced America and Enriched Himself and His Family. Welcome, my friend. Okay, how big a problem is this? Can you explain first in layman's terms, quickly, how losing millions on thousands of actual revenue, how that even works? I mean, is that the stock that still has a huge market value? Is it really valuable? There's a lot of questions.
It's not at all. It's not at all valuable, and the people who own it at the current price, if they don't sell out, will eventually be wiped out. The $300+ million is not a cash charge, but even so, the company is losing money hand over fist, and its revenues are barely in the millions of dollars. So there's no support here for a company worth 4, 5, 6 at $1.8 billion. This is all fans of Donald Trump and others hoping to exploit the company and in some cases to sell it short so they can collect when the price falls to near zero.
So look, there's more bad financial news for Trump. The IRS claims he took improper tax breaks for his high-rise in Chicago, and losing the audit battle, that could mean a tax bill of over $100 million, especially with his legal fees. Can he afford that? I mean, what kind of damage could that do to him?
Oh, it would do tremendous damage to him. And this is not the first time Donald has cheated this way by claiming deductions. He claims his Trump Tower hotel was worth nothing, essentially, and then put it into another company that he has and began depreciating the value of the company. Donald has fabricated more than 6 businesses that don't exist and taken tax losses for them. And he's been tried twice for income tax fraud, civil fraud, not criminal. And in both cases, he lost.
Let's get to this new film. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's called The Apprentice. Of course, it's about Donald Trump, and it premiered at the Cannes Film Festival to great reviews. It got an 8-minute standing ovation. It stars Sebastian Stan as Trump, Jeremy Strong as Roy Cohn, and it tracks Trump early years in his career and business relationship with Cohn. And I know, David, you've said that Cohn taught Trump how to get away with lying. What might people learn from this movie? And again, it's not an official biopic, right? But it's going along the lines of his life.
Well, the film is based on reporting by Gabe Sherman, who is an excellent journalist. He previously did a very powerful book about Roger Ailes, who ran Fox. And Donald is trying to suppress this film by threatening to sue. He won't get anywhere in U.S. courts, but he might in British courts because they have different rules. But he also suppressed a 1991 film about him that covered basically the same ground, his relationship to the notorious Roy Cohn, who was Senator Joe McCarthy's attack dog. And Donald has said he admires him greatly and considers him his second father. And it was Roy Cohn who taught him the way to act when law enforcement comes after you is attack, attack, attack. They're corrupt. They're dishonest. You're as pure as a new fallen snow.
So, okay, Trump's team sends this cease and desist, and they've called the film pure fiction, and even they've called it election interference by Hollywood elites. So the movie does not have a U.S. distributor yet. Could there be legal liability for these filmmakers? And by the way, doesn't the Trump team threatening to sue, does that not only elevate the movie and make people want to see it?
Yeah, I think this is a classic example of where Donald's reaction is going to make more people want to see the movie than would otherwise. And it might delay distribution here in the U.S., but as a legal matter, Donald will have zero success in American courts trying to suppress the film, which I'm sure carefully follows the published known record, the court record in the matters concerning his life, just as my books do. You know, Donald has threatened to sue me innumerable times, but he's never done it because he knows he'll lose because I have my facts down solid.
Speaking of lose, when it goes back to the stock, is Donald Trump going to lose money on this, or is he going to make money on this? What do you think?
Well, he can't sell any shares until sometime in September, and the company might still be valuable at that point. Of course, if he sells any shares, that will be a signal to the market to dump the stock. But a company that has essentially no revenue of any consequence, and it keeps losing money, doesn't have a future. And I feel badly for the Trump fans. I've seen many of them interviewed on TV and heard some on the radio who think that this stock will be worth a huge fortune in the future. I don't see how that's possible, especially if Trump doesn't get back to the White House.
Okay, David K. Johnson, it's always good to talk with you and get your very straight reporting on this. Thank you. It is quite a sight this Memorial Day weekend, the sand and the surf of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But to the south, there's a big problem with the weather.